See what is there in the nervous system, part 1. Now, by the end of this lesson, you will know what is a nervous system, what are the major divisions of nervous system, what are nerves and different types of nerves, and the structure of a nerve cell. Obviously with diagram, because in your exams you will be having the label diagram of a neuron or a nerve cell. So let us go into detail. Now first we will like to discuss about what is nervous system. Now each and every organ system in our body, we know, like circulatory system, endocrine system, they all work in coordination and they are having integration. So this coordination and integration of all the body activities is called as nervous system. Now suppose, let us take an example of when we eat food. So when we are eating food, first what we are doing, we are looking at the food, we are locating the food. Our nose smells it. Now we are using either our hands or our spoon to bring the food to the mouth, and then the teeth is chewing and masticating it. Then the tongue pushes the food into the alimentary canal, and so on. The process goes on to the digestive system. So all these things work in coordination. So nothing is happening without any coordination. Like first we are without seeing the food, we can't take it or locate it or put into the mouth. So each and every senses should be in coordination with each another, and this is called the nervous system. Now let us see what are the main parts of nervous system. Now the major divisions of nervous system are central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. Now the central nervous system is again divided into two parts, the brain and the spinal cord. And the peripheral nervous system, what is it? It is consisting of nerves that runs between the central nervous system and different parts of the body. Now this peripheral nervous system is again divided into two parts. The first part is the somatic nervous system, which is dealing with all the voluntary activities, and the messages are sent to the skeletal system, that is the muscles of our body. And another is the autonomic nervous system. What is that? It is consisting of the nerves which are connecting to the visceral organs. Now what are these visceral organs? Like the heart, lungs, digestive tract and other internal organs, and perform functions which are not under our control. That is, this autonomic nervous system is controlling the involuntary actions of our body. So is it clear, everyone? Now the nervous system divided into two parts, central nervous system, peripheral nervous system. Now central nervous system divided into brain and spinal cord, peripheral nervous system divided into somatic nervous system and autonomic nervous system. Now let us see in the next slide what we are having. Now in this slide we will be discussing about the nerves. Now nerves are mainly composed of a bundle of nerve fibers. Now here in this diagram you can see they are like the wire of telephone cable. Now the main nerve is composed of a bundle of nerve cells called neurons, which form the basic unit of nervous system. And through these nerves or neurons, the messages are conducted from one part of the body to another in the form of electrical impulses. So you can see they are a bundle together. Not a single nerve fiber is passing through one place to another. They are in a form of bundle, and each single bundle is called from each single bundle, each and every nerve cell is called a neuron or a nerve fiber. So let us discuss this neuron in detail. Now let us move on to the next slide. Now before discussing about the neuron structure, first we should know about the different types of nerves. Now there are three main types of nerves: the sensory nerves, motor nerves, and the mixed nerves. Now sensory nerves are also called afferent nerves. Afferent, as the name suggests, is something which is carrying toward. Now nerves which contain neurons which carry messages from the receptors towards the central nervous system. Now the CNS is the central nervous system, are called sensory nerves. Now you can take one example. There are many examples. I have taken the example of optic nerve from the eye to the brain. So they are taking from the eye means from the sensory receptors and to the central nervous system, that is to the brain. Now next comes the motor nerves. Now motor nerves are called the efferent nerves. Now as the name suggests, efferent means moving, carrying away. So the nerves contain neurons which take messages away from the CNS towards the effector organ. Now such as muscles and glands. Now anything arising from the brain is leading to the muscles of the eyeballs is called the effect of motor nerves. Now something is happening in the brain. So those impulses are carried on to the muscles or the glands through the motor nerves. Now the third category is the mixed nerves. Now these mixed nerves are both afferent and efferent. So they can either carry messages from the receptor to the brain or from the brain to the receptor organ, rather muscles, glands, etc. Now actually these are mostly cranial nerves and spinal nerves are the examples of mixed nerves. Now let us move on to the next slide. Now in this slide we will discuss about the structure of a nerve cell. Now here we can see the structure of a nerve cell. So what is it? It is actually the structural and functional unit of nervous system. Now as we all know, it is a very specialized cell and it mainly contains of three parts: the cell body, the dendrites, and the axon. So this is the cell body, these branches are the dendrites, and this long branch is called the axon, which is having its different parts. And the cell body also contains certain different things which we will be discussing in the detailed structure of a neuron. So as of now, the three main parts of a nerve cell: dendrites, cell body, and axon. So let us move on to the next slide. Now in this we will discuss about the structure of a neuron in detail. Now here this is the cell body, which is having a large central nucleus which is being surrounded by cytoplasm. Now we can't see those minute granules which are called Nissl granules. There are neurofibrils here, there is mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum. All the main constituents of a cell body are present here. There are several microfilaments, microtubules and all. Now these branches we can see, these are short thread-like branches which are arising from the cell body or the soma, which are called dendrites. Now this one branch which has grown very big is called the axon. Please do follow my pointer. Now this axon, there are different parts in this axon. Now this outer part here this is surrounded by some type of insulation. Now we can see this insulation. The outer part of this insulation is called the outermost insulation is called the neurolemma, outermost sheet. The middle sheet is called the myelin sheath, and the innermost sheath is called the axolemma. So outside part is called the neurolemma, then comes the myelin sheath or the middle sheath, medullary sheath, and then comes the axolemma or the innermost part. Now in between this two insulated part, there is a region which is called the node of Ranvier. This region is called the node of Ranvier. Now as we move down to the end of the axon, we can see several nerve synaptic endings or button-like parts here. These are the endings or the axon endings, terminal button endings. Now these endings are a little bit swollen. They are containing the neurotransmitter like acetylcholine and all. that you'll study in higher classes in detail. So in this class, you just take a note of this, that these are little bit swollen in structure axon terminals carrying the synaptic transmitter or neurotransmitter like acetylcholine, and this axon endings are closely placed near the dendrites. Now, like this one axon ending is closely placed near the dendrites. You can see the previous axon is ending here, and the axon endings are placed towards the dendrite branches. Now, but they are not connected. They are very much closely placed. And here also we can see that they are closely placed. There is a slight gap left in between the axon endings and the dendrite branches. So those clefts are called synaptic cleft or synapse. That we will study in the next slide, though it is not in your syllabus or portion, but for a brief idea we should study what is synapse. So I'll make the video. In the next video we will study what is synapse. Okay, so as of now, please be clear with this structure of neuron with detail, the parts of nervous system, the parts what are present in the axon, and with all the diagrams you should be thorough, because this type of diagrams you'll get in your exams. So in your exams you will be given like draw the structure of a neuron with or a labeled structure of a neuron, the nerve cell, and you can get also the like describe different types of nerve cell, etc. So please be thorough with it, so that when we come up with the next video you should all be clear with this part. Thank you.